Well, it's Sunday, so you know what that means. It's race day. Once again, here we are for the Insider Zoom NASCAR report. Back with the regular guest here, Wrycape and Joey Tron. Plus, we've got a special guest here for today, and we'll bring him in right now. Introduce him here to you. It's Brian Twining. You can find him at Brian_Twining. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing great, guys. I'm excited to get into this betting card for this weekend at Pocono. It's always one of my favorite tracks to get into. Anytime we go to these places where it's high speed, pedal to the metal type racing, and we've seen some funky shit happen, like when Kyle Larson had a flat on the last lap a couple of years ago. I love these races.
Good, good. Looking forward to hearing what you got to your insight on this race and who you like to win. So before we get into that, we'll go through our normal routine here. First, we'll recap last week. I'm not sure how we did. I wasn't following, so
Well, we did
so
good.
right.
We had
Yeah.
a good weekend. I cashed JGR team winner, and I cashed Harvick top five. I know. I think both of Rory's plays cashed. And how'd you do, Joey?
Yeah, I cashed Keselowski top five, plus 325, and then Kevin Harvick to win Group One plus 210. So definitely a good race for us.
Yeah, New Hampshire was great. Fun to watch too.
All right, good. I always like to hear that the following week that there's a lot of plus money winners in there.
Oh yeah.
So we'll get right into this race. It's the highpoint.com 400 at Pocono. So what can you tell us about this track, right?
Yeah, so as you said, this is a highpoint.com 400. This is going to be race number 21 of 36. We are at the Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. We're going to be doing 400 miles, which is 160 laps. This is a flat super speedway, 2.5 mile tri oval. We have banking of 14, 8, and 6 degrees. Uh, as I said, only 6 races remain for the regular season. This is a unique triangular layout with 3 different corners, so it's going to be hard to set up your car perfectly. So if you want to set it up for a good turn 2, you're going to have trouble in turn 3, vice versa. Toyota has won 8 of the last 14 here. Track position is huge. Passing zones are going to be on the straightaways. This is going to be a strategy race. Some drivers are going to be going for points while others need to win. As I said earlier, there's no perfect car setup here. I expect to see some accidents. By the way the lines are drawn out, this is going to be a chalk race. The better drivers will win today. I'm looking at guys who have good history at Pocono, and that's where I'm going from.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Next thing we always like to talk about is if there's any trends that we can look for at this race. And Joey, that's where you come in here. What do you got for us for your trends for this race?
Yeah. So I got five trends for us. The most poles among active driver is tied with Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch, both with four. The most wins among active drivers is Denny Hamlin with six. Chevy has the most wins all time with 34. Chevy and Toyota have split the last four races, going Chevy, Toyota, Chevy, Toyota. And the pole winner has not won here since 2017, and that was with Kyle Busch.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Well, I know you guys tune in for two things. One, to see what Rye's going to be wearing on top of his head for uh, for this week, whether it's a different hat or his Phillies thing going on right now. And then you come for the picks, and that's where you guys make your money, and that's where these guys make their money. So we usually break it down into three things. If you've been here for since the start of the season, you know what our three areas that we look at. If you haven't been here for the whole season, where have you been? You've been missing out on a lot of good stuff here. We break it down into three categories. Our first category here is called That's a Winner. These are the guys, like their best bats. These are the guys they think that's going to either win the race or, win a better chance of winning whatever what they put out. So, Ryan, what do you got this week for That's a Winner?
Yeah, so again this week I am staying away from the outrights. There are just too many guys I like at the top, and I'll go at it a different way. We'll see later in the show. But for my that's a winner, I like William Byron, the number 24. This has been a great track for Byron. He has a 9.4 average finish in 9 Cup Series starts here. That is the best among active drivers. He does rank number 2 on high line betting. He did win the pole. Obviously, I try not to bet the pole winner, but I like him here today. What has he done lately? So in the last 10 races, he has an average finish of 7.6. He has 2 wins with 7 top 10s. And I have a little quote that he made about this track. So this is from William Byron. He said, "We've always had fast cars there, not only as a team, but as an organization as well. Rudy Fugel and I have a win there in trucks. We came close in 2021, getting 2 wins in the doubleheader weekend. So heading to a track that we've been traditionally really good at helps to bring that momentum back for everyone after a tough weekend. I'm just excited to get on the track, put New Hampshire behind us. When I hear stuff like that, I want to back a guy like that. So I like William Byron for it.
All right, sounds good. So we'll go to you, Joey. You got 2 things you like for that's a winner, both from the same driver here. So what do you got?
Yeah, so I like to place an outright followed by a top 3 or top 5, but I like Kyle Busch to win, and Kyle Busch top 3 today. At Pocono Raceway since 2020, he has 1 win and 3 top 5s, leading 125 total laps. He also had a track rating of 116.7 here. In practice, he had the fastest overall car at 53.66 time per lap. However, Byron and Larson were very close to him. So it's been 5 races since we've seen him in the winner's circle, and 4 since we've seen him in the top 3, and I think we'll see both of those today with Kyle Busch at a track he's pretty familiar with.
Yeah, can I jump in real quick?
Yeah,
So
sure.
this is a race last year where Denny Hamlin came in first, Kyle Busch came in second. They both got disqualified, which gave Chase Elliott the win. So I just want to throw that out there for people who don't remember, because I was on Denny Hamlin last year.
I'll also add to that. I'm pretty sure Kyle Busch was actually the lap leader of that race as well. So he was
Correct.
probably the best car in last year's race.
He'll be the best again today too.
We'll see.
I can't wait till the first time you guys agree on something. So Brian, I'll have you come up here, Brian. You got a little different take on this one, and it's always good to have a lot of different options for this race, a lot of different ways to cash money. What do you like in this one, Brian?
Yeah, so I'm gonna stick with the Chevys here, and I'm gonna go with the third guy that's amongst like the top Chevy drivers at this track, and that's Kyle Larson. You don't normally see this type of discount on an outright with him. I know he hasn't won a race in quite some time this year. I believe it was Martinsville since the last time he's found victory lane. But when you look at his past history at Pocono, over the last 4 races here, he's finished 5th or better in 3 of those 4. And the other one that he didn't, he probably should have won the race where he blew that tire back in 2021. I mean, this guy has been coming on strong the last couple of weeks. And when you look at a race that requires strategy, as Rye was saying, is there any better team than that of the 5 car and trying to figure out a way to manufacture a good finishing position than Kyle Larson? So if I'm going to pick an outright, I like you guys have all been kind of talking about, it's tough here, especially with all the favorites. But if I got to go to the top of the board, I really like Kyle Larson this week.
Yeah, a lot of value with Kyle Larson.
All right, good. All right, so our next group here is what we like to call our low riders. It's kind of our dark horses. It's basically just some nice plus money bets that if they cash out your bankroll here. Joey, this is your last pick for the day, so we'll go with you on this one.
Sounds good. Yeah. I've been riding him a lot this year. I like Asia Allmendinger top 10. I got him at plus 550 on Bet365. He has 3 top 10 finishes in his last 5 races. He had a 13th best 5-lap time in practice, which is a pretty good indicator of his tire wear for this track. He has 2 top 10s in his career here. Not that good of a sample size in regards to 22 races, but I like consistency, and he's been doing well in the past. So I think he continues into that today, especially being right on the cusp of the playoffs.
All right,
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be racing for stage points.
We'll see.
We will see.
Okay. All right, Brian. This is the kind of low rider I like. Little plus 3,000 here. So what do you got for us?
Yeah, like if I'm gonna throw a dart on a long shot, I mean I'm wearing the hat. If you've ever caught any of my shows over at Angle with Pursuit, I am a 2311 apologist. I love that team. But Bubba Wallace 35-1. I don't really understand why the number actually got longer post practice and qualifying as he unloaded with tremendous speed. He threw together the fastest lap during the first round of qualifying, and had he not gotten a little bit too aggressive during his second lap, he's probably starting inside the top five, maybe the front two rows. So, I mean, if you're going to give me, 35-1 on a guy who has great speed, excels at high speed tracks, and is right on the playoff cut, who he needs to get a win to guarantee himself a position in the playoffs, like I'm going to take that every single day.
All right. No comment,
Yeah,
Ryan.
I like Bubba Wallace. I think he's good. This is a good track for him. He's been running well.
Yeah, he's got top tens in each of the last two runs here. It's 14th or better in the last three. He's been better this year than he's ever been in his career, and I still think people are discounting a lot of how he's actually improved, just expecting the old Bubba to show up.
All right. All right. Wrycape, what do you got here for your dark
Yeah,
horse?
so my low rider is going to be Daniel Suarez of the number 99 Trackhouse team. Suarez finished third and was running in the top six for most of the race last year. His best finish at Pocono was runner-up in 2018. He will probably be staying out to receive points. So hopefully that helps him stay out of the mess of the cut line. But he didn't really have the best practice of qualifying. But I think he's going to be able to, go through the field. And then if he's playing for strategy, he's going to have to do that again anyway after the second stage ends. So, he ranks number 9 on Highline betting. I think it's possible to start from the final stage deep in the field, and he's going to have to move up. So we'll know early in the race from where he starts if this bet's going to actually cash. If he has trouble coming up early, then this is probably dead. But I think he's going to do well here. This is a good track for him. So, I like Suarez to get in the top 10 at plus 145. I found that on Barstool.
All right, sounds good. The last section here, it's our kind of our buffet table section. It's just head-to-heads, group bets, whatever these guys like. Just outside of your normal bets here. So we'll start with our guest here, Brian. What are some of these bets that you like?
Yeah, so I'm going to the head-to-head market to start here, and I'm going to go with Chris Buescher at plus 130 over Alex Bowman. Chris Buescher has sucked at Pocono. He has only one finish better than 16th throughout his career here. That was a 10th place finish a few years ago. While Bowman has actually been pretty decent, 11th or better, I believe, in 4 straight. But to me, 2023's next gen car and just the way the cars are racing is much different than what we saw last year and in the past. So I'm not factoring that in too much. I'm looking at what they've done this season. And Buescher has finished ahead of Alex Bowman in 5 of the last 7 races. Buescher has not finished worse than 20th. I believe it's in 7 straight races, while Bowman has only finished better than 18th, I believe, in 3 of those 7. So, I'm going on this based on what are you doing for me right now, getting the plus money on an RFK team that is on the up, while Bowman has just kind of been, moseying his way through the season since returning at Charlotte. I'm all about value plays, so I'm going to take the big plus money here on the matchup.
Yeah,
and then
Bowman's been awful.
Yeah, he's just been kind of blah,
Ever since his broken back, I don't know, because I like Bowman in general. I always want to find a way to bet on him, but he hasn't made my card in so long.
Exactly. And then the second one, I mean, again, value bet. Eric Jones, we all make fun of Legacy, Petty GMS, however you want to refer to them, but plus 450 on a top 10 for a guy who, again, like Bubba Wallace, excels at high-speed tracks. He's really good at Michigan. He's always a threat there to top 10. and he's also been running pretty damn good over the last few races. I believe he's 11th or better in each of the last 3 traditional ovals coming into this weekend. And Eric Jones, again, is a guy who they may take some risks. And if we get a late caution, maybe they stay out and he cracks the top 10. And at plus 450, you don't have to bet much to take home a profitable weekend.
All right, good. Couple nice bets there. Rye, you got a team of the race winner here.
Yeah, so we cashed this last week. Obviously, we have Martin Truex Jr. and Denny Hamlin right at the top of the odds board. So I took a team of race winner to be Joe Gibbs Racing. Toyota has dominated Pocono Raceway recently. Truex is a 2-time Pocono winner. Hamlin has won here 6 times. Toyota has won 70% of the last 10 Pocono races. They went 1-2 last year before being disqualified. The year before that, Toyota drivers led 66.2 of the laps, which are 106 of 160. Joe Gibbs Racing in general led 102 of those laps, with all 4 drivers leading at least 2 laps. So in the second race in 2021 doubleheader weekend, all 4 once again led laps, with Busch leading 30, Truex 19, Bell 3, and Hamlin 1. Obviously, Busch isn't there anymore. I don't know what I expect from Ty Gibbs, but I'm heavy on Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex Jr., and I think one of those guys get to the victory lane today. So I'm taking Joe Gibbs Racing to win at plus 180. I found that on Unibet, so pretty much any Canby should have it.
All right, good stuff there from everybody. Yeah, in case you missed something, these guys run down recap their picks here in a second, and they'll tell you, where you can find them on social media, where you can find them on other sites, and yeah, Joey. So go ahead, recap your picks, and where can the people find you if they're interested in? Stuff?
So I'm on Kyle Busch to win at plus 900 on DraftKings. Kyle Busch top 3 plus 250 on DraftKings. And AJ Allmendinger top 10 plus 550 on Bet365. And you can find me on Twitter at BetAnUnderdog and Joey Tron on Big Advisor.
All right, very good. Right, where can the people find you, and how have you been doing this week?
Yep, so I'm Wrycape on all social media. You can find all my plays on Pick Advisor. These plays will be up there shortly, pickadvisor.com. I do have an MLB play coming off a sweep yesterday. So if you want to get in that starts on a little later today. You could also find my plays at Winners and Winers. And my plays for today are William Byron, top 5. I found that at plus 110 on BetMGM. Daniel Suarez, top 10. I found that at plus 145 on Barstool. And then team of race winner, Joe Gibbs Racing at plus 180 on Unibet.
All right, thanks, Ryan. And Brian, thanks for coming on. A lot of good stuff, a lot of good information. We've had a lot of guests on the last few weeks. I always like to get new face, new voice, because you always bring you all bring different things to the show and add different insights. I really appreciate you coming on. Tell the people where they can find you. Go over, recap your picks if you could, please, and anything else if where people can check you out.
Yeah, no, I would say thanks for having me, guys. It's always fun to go on shows. I just like you were saying, I love getting different people's opinions on race stuff, and sometimes it makes me reassess the betting market. Quick recap of my card for today: Kyle Larson outright plus 650 over at DraftKings. Best number still available on what is probably still considered the best technical driver in the sport right now. Long shot, got to go with Bubba Wallace, 35-1. That number is far too long over there at DraftKings. Got a head-to-head, very plus money. Chris Buescher, plus 130 over the blah Alex Bowman, who really has done nothing since returning to injury. And then for another long shot bet, an Eric Jones top 10 at plus 450, found over at Bet Rivers. This guy is always a threat to top 10 at high-speed track, so I don't see why you wouldn't want to throw a little cheddar on this one. And then you can find my stuff over on socials. I'm always posting NASCAR stuff, NASCAR picks at Brian_Twining. And then I am on a podcast with my friend Kyle over at Angle of Pursuit.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Good stuff. Yeah, if you want to come back on sometime before the season's over, just let Ryan know and we'll get you in. He takes care of all that stuff. I'm just the, the I'm just the face that makes everybody else look better. So that's kind of my role. Except maybe Ryan. I think competition here sooner or later. I had to shave just because I couldn't compete with that. So. So
This needs a doctor up too.
All right, Ryan. I'll let you close. Well, yours is nice and dark. I start looking like Santa Claus, all nice and all white. It starts doing my head in after a while. So, all right, Ryan. I'll let you close us out like you always do, and good luck, everybody. And again, thanks a lot, Brian, for coming on.
Yeah. So next week we have no guests. Rare no guest week, I guess. But we're at Richmond, so make sure you come check that out. Make sure you go check out Brian on social media. Go watch Angel of Pursuit. When do you usually drop your shows?
So they normally like Thursday mornings, we do like a race recap from the previous week, and then we dive into the opening lines. And then Sunday mornings, we release our show that is like our final betting cards and a little bit of DFS stuff.
Yeah. So you could, that's on your YouTube channel, yes?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So make sure you check that out. And as I always say, happy race day. Let's cash some tickets.